all the talking points, this week's top stories. This is News on Friday, the most comprehensive news broadcast before man and God. And each week on Friday, we bring you the latest events revolving around students in a way that only we can. Of course, our deepest condolences to the friends and families affected by the Nairobi hotel attack. Here at CoELIB TV, we want you to know that we are with you in prayers. This was not the first time this instance is happening in Kenya. The first time it was in 2015, and that was the Garissa University attack. It affected a lot of students, and this time round, the University of Nairobi students were also affected. They had to be evacuated from their hostels, and we can only imagine the kind of trauma they're facing right now. Next week on the broadcast, we will be speaking to a security personnel to help us understand how colleges and universities can deal with such situations. And yes, we are live across the nation right now with the very latest from the CoELIB TV studios at Egerton University. My name is CoELIB, and we put the rubber on the road to begin the broadcast. And we start the bulletin at Egerton University main campus. The first years are expected to report back to the institution in March this year for semester 2 studies. The fresh blood will be away for the next 2 months, leaving space for continuing students to finish their semester that has been running from last year. Egerton University expects to resume full operations with all the students starting March 2019. This rather unfamiliar schedule was brought about by the university's lecturer strike that happened earlier last year. Of course, this strike saw a lot of learning time being sent down the drain. When the clock ticked 12 a.m. on the 1st of January, it meant one thing: another 365 reasons to believe. As it is the tradition among many people, New Year is marked by hope, dedication, fresh thinking, not to mention resolution. Well, what are some of your resolutions this year, and how far are you willing to go down the dusty road to design that dream? Take a look at this report.
My New Year's resolution is to be the best fitness influencer in Kenya.
To make more money than I did last year, so that I can be successful.
To add mass.
Be a go-getter and to make sure that I don't hold back to anything.
My New Year resolution is to invest.
To manage my finances better.
To be more kind to people.
To be focused in life.
To do what I didn't do last year.
2018 was generally a good year for everyone at Egerton University. A lot happened, history was made. Well, 2019 is a year of more. Time to fold the sleeves and put in above level average of dedication. Today on News on Friday, we highlight 2018 in 3 pieces, and we tell you the 3 most notable public events that occurred at the Njoro-based institution and what they actually mean going forward. The first notable event last year was the annual University Culture Week. The 6th edition of the Egerton University Culture Week took place from the 30th of July to the 3rd of August 2018. The event that was aimed at improving food security and health care for a healthy nation brought together different beliefs and cultures. This event also served as a unifying factor among the students. It was time to refresh, smile, and understand each other. At the end of the 1-week-long event, Egerton was sure of one thing: it had played its part in embracing the Big Four agenda through culture for achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals. I give you some of the moments from the last year's Culture Week. of course, those are some of the moments from the last year's Culture Week. The first notable event that actually happened at the Njoro-based institution. The second event last year was the ASK show. Of course, the annual ASK show was held from the 2nd of July 2018 to the 8th of July at the Nakuru Showground. I give you some of the sneak pictures and videos from this show. It was good to see the people who represented the university at that show actually putting the college on the map where it should be. The third major event last year was the 39th graduation ceremony, and this graduation happened on the 7th of December 2018, and it saw a total of 2,546 graduates being ushered into the job market. Of course, that was a defining moment for the parents, the university, and the students. On that note, we take a short breather on News on Friday. We still have a lot more on the program. Do stay with us.
We are in the center of the town where their communication to them is very easy. Even if they leave this place late in the hours, they are able to go back home safe.
The library provides support.
One thing I particularly loved about the university, continuously up to today, is the passion that the lecturers had.
I'm a member of the drama club.
It has been an opportunity to grow us and open us to other opportunities out there.
And instilled in me networked knowledge skills.
The lecturers who would go out of their way just to make sure that the students were there, and we were encouraged to be able to go through the course despite the many hurdles or obstacles each one of us had.
By doing interviews, giving bursaries to the students.
Our graduates are quality graduates who are ready for the market.
Egerton is one of the best universities so far, as per our vision, which is a world-class university.
Of course, thank you so much for keeping it News on Friday, the most comprehensive and authoritative news broadcast in the nation right now. And you can follow us on social media on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram at CoELIB TV. We move on with the broadcast. Full of vitamin C, helps in improving digestion and lowering cholesterol levels. Some of the advantages of eating cabbages, but just what goes on behind the scenes in the farm before it's finally served for lunch. Befri Musomi and her colleagues now take us through everything that goes on in the farm in preparation of cabbages. Listen in.
I'm Befri Musomi. I'm doing agricultural economics at Egerton University. And right now, I'm uprooting weeds on a cabbage seedbed. So what to consider when preparing or when planting cabbages, you can prepare a raised seedbed like this one here. You can look, it's also raised. And make a spacing of about 20 centimeters. Like here, the spacing is 20 until the other end. You can use Gloria F1 seeds because it's a hybrid and produces big heads. You can water the seedlings daily, mostly in the morning and in the evening, to keep them watered and prevent drying of the seedlings. So when the seeds reach about a height of 10 centimeters, like this one here, it's almost like 1 week before you transplant them to the main field.
I'm Michelle, also a student at Egerton. So before transplanting from the main field, you have to prepare this field first, the main field first. So you make holes of about 40 by 40 centimeters. Then you add DAP fertilizer, you mix it with soil. Then you add water. And then before transplanting, which should be done late in the evening, you come and transplant late in the evening. So after you add water, you transplant them immediately. Then after transplanting, you'll have to water the seedlings twice a day, in the morning and in the evening.
So after transplanting the seedlings to the main field, you need to start to do your watering at a period of after 2 weeks. You do it once every week so that you can avoid the splitting of the head due to over-irrigation. And then when the head starts to form, you spray against aphids. So after spraying against aphids, to know that your cabbages are mature, you will knock the head so that they'll produce a sound to ensure that sound will tell you whether the cabbages are mature or not.
Of course, interesting to know how cabbages are actually prepared from the farm until they get to the table ready for lunch. That is for you who likes vegetables. This is News on Friday, and it's time for In 65 Seconds. And our question for the week was, if you had only 65 seconds to be alive, or 65 seconds left on your clock, what will you feed on? We were out in the street to get your opinion on this one. Listen in.
Because I'm a bodybuilder, maybe I will eat my normal routine of rice and meat. I'm a rice and chicken, yeah.
I'd rather eat fried cassava and then then I take the lemon, then apply chili powder, chili and salt powder on it. Yeah.
I think I would eat rice, yeah, and some soup.
If at all I had 65 seconds, I could start even a coffee bar.
I'll eat cassavas and yams.
I think I'd only eat smokies.
I'd eat kuku.
My best meal, biryani.
I don't know what I would eat, really. Huh? I would eat a lot of chicken, kuku. I love kuku. Yes.
Of course, that is in 65 seconds, and my director is telling me that if he had only 65 seconds, he's actually fly to Ghana and get some fufu. That is in 65 seconds each and every week on News on Friday. We move on with the broadcast. Next is Listen by CoELIB. Now, this is Listen by CoELIB. Is it time for change? On the last broadcast, we had the Education Cabinet Secretary, Ambassador Amina Mohammed, saying that the new system of education has been put on hold, well, for at least 1 year. Amina gave 8 reasons why she was not just ready for the implementation. Well, her docket needed 1 year to put the rubber on the road. Surprisingly, after 12 days, she was on the news again. This time round, it was all systems go. How fast? Now listen, this is what I think. There is a big confusion around the implementation of the CBC. As at now, the grade 1, 2, and 3 are under the CBC, and from class 4 going on are on the old system. That is the 32-year-old 844 system of education. Maybe as a nation, we just don't know what we're dealing with in this situation. This is education, the foundation of any strong nation. So I know the parents are so concerned about the whole conversation. A lot of stakeholders have already spoken. The government has already gave its opinion on this. But this is what I think. We should not rush. We should take all the time we need and make this clear for the future of this nation. And that is the students. And I think things don't really go wrong. They start wrong. So let's give this new education system a lot of time as long as we know what we're doing. So that is Listen by CoELIB on the program today. And of course, from Listen, I hand you over to Gabriel Kanza with Spot On.
When Kenyans were busy with celebrations of ushering in the new year, it was not different for this man. Or this man, Baba. He seemed to dance with his mind and soul. But not so for Governor 047. He set his priorities right and focused on the mission at bay. But where did he even start, you may ask? Well, it all started here.
For having been chosen as the host city.
But that is not all the dancing we had this year. There was this man who decided to show us his style. Let us now wrap it up with the dance of the year. Chini kwa chini dance. Others decided to do covers and challenges.
And I need you, Nelly, I love you, I do.
Know you, and I need you, over there, listen to you.
But for others, there was a change of gender roles. For example, there was this splashing, slaking. Others took the challenge a bit too far. This angered some people, including the president. Well, that is it for today. Gabriel Kanja, spot on.
Of course, that is Spot On by Gabriel Kanja each and every week on News on Friday, getting us to know all the funny happenings all through the week. And this week, like you've seen, the dancing moves are not that bad. Not that bad. We move on with the program. CoELIB Center played host to visitors across the globe. The two-day event pointed at the future of business incubation in Africa. Ruth Mutai brings us up to speed with the story.
For the last 48 hours, CoELIB Center has hosted visitors from far and wide. They were here to benchmark. Now, stakeholders of CoELIB Incuba were also in attendance. There are a number of individuals who underwent the incubation process and graduated. And we were lucky enough to get a chance to interview them, to talk to them. We have the founders of Joko Mushrooms, a company that produces and supplies mushrooms. They also provide consultancy, training services.
As a startup, CoELIB has helped us come up with funds. It has helped us come up with ways on which we can deal with our businesses.
They are also giving us a mushroom house, so down in cost at the cost of starting up. So we actually did cut like half of the cost of starting. They have also given us the funds to start, and they are working with us step to step.
We also have the founder of Plotus, a company that provides an automatic brooder and hatchery. These individuals now run their businesses comfortably, making profits thanks to CoELIB Incuba.
I really didn't know about marketing, how to handle business, how to do market entry strategies, pricing strategies, how to handle my finances. They have assisted me in that part of business. Also, they have funded me. They have given me some money which I'm now currently using to build a model. They have also assisted me to make a better model than what I thought was better. Before I came here, the model I had was inferior, but when I came here, they gave me ideas of how I can improve my package.
We have the project administrator, CoELIB, who gives us the process of incubation.
First, what we start with is the call for applications. So we do online advertisement, and sometimes we also use posters where people can apply and share their messages in WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Then from there, the applicants are supposed to apply, and we give 1 month for applications. Then after applications, then the panel, we have a selection panel that sits down and selects the most viable businesses. And then after selection, we write to the successful applicants, and then they are scheduled for interviews. And during the interviews, they're supposed to pitch their ideas and tell us more about their businesses. And also, after that, we sit down again as the selection panel, and then select the businesses that we identified, and so that they can be able to be incubated according to CoELIB's mandate. Then after the selection and all that processes, then we invite them to come into the incubation facility or maybe CoELIB center. And then from there, the first day, what we do is that we do an orientation, taking them through the facility spaces and see what is happening around. And then after orientation, then we start the trainings.
CoELIB Incuba is built on the concept that supports innovative ideas and turns them into profitable ventures. The Kenya School of Agriculture, Pwani University Kenya, Hawassa University Ethiopia came by to benchmark at the CoELIB Center, Egerton University.
Our visit and experience sharing here was very fascinating, and we found the hospitality of this university and also the Egerton and this incubation center very nice. The sharing was what we wanted before, because we were struggling to open a new incubation center for agriculture businesses, of course, and this was the great experience, everything in one. So we have took a lot of things to take into our incubation center and to work and help our students, the instructors, their staff members, and around the community as well.
This trip has been a big eye-opener for us, especially on the concept and the development of an incubation center, what is entailed, what are the challenges, the processes of getting incubatees. It has been a real eye-opener as we now take off as Kenya School of Agriculture, because incubation for any training institution is now the way to go. It gives you a chance to evaluate entrepreneurship, which you can't test in a class.
We've gotten to see what an incubation center is like, practically seeing the innovations that have been started up, seeing where they started from, the kind of challenges that they have had as an incubation center. And because Pwani University is at the initial stages of beginning this actually gives us a roadmap. It gives us an idea of how to start, where to start from. And one of the main lessons I have really learned is that it's important to just start. You can't have it all together, because like here the system is organized, there's so much going on, and you can see a lot of good planning and well thought out plans. But speaking to like the director and some of the colleagues here, the members of staff, we actually learned that it didn't all begin like that. So one of the major take homes I have is that we've got to start somewhere, start small, and then keep growing and keep learning. So it's something personally I look forward to going back to Pwani University and being part of the team that's going to implement this, and hopefully be part of that team that's going to bring a change.
The management of the incubation process is done by QPoint, an organization based in the Netherlands that manages projects.
We are all here to see about incubation, how incubation is done here within Egerton University, and I'm very happy that we have seen this is a good role model for all the other institutions, and there's a lot of interaction between all the delegations and between Egerton.
The road to success and the road to failure are almost the same. Now the future is here. The future is business. Head over to www.coelibincuba.org and be part of that future. Reporting for CoELIB TV, my name is Ruth Mutai.
Of course, that is a very good story by Ruth Mutai, and it's actually interesting to know and to get to understand the future of young business people actually getting into the game and trying to get their space as far as economics is concerned. We take a short commercial break on News on Friday. When we get back, we have all the latest sporting action. Well, time for sports right now, and the menace is back. Kenyan all-time top scorer Dennis Oliech signed for Gor Mahia. So far so good, Dennis Oliech has played 3 games, scoring in 2 of them. His first goal for Gor Mahia was against Posta Rangers, then the second goal was against Mount Kenya. Of course, people are actually speaking right now whether the decision of Dennis Oliech to actually join Gor Mahia points as the most likely combination of strikers ahead of Harambee Stars African Cup of Nations tournament in Egypt. Of course, we are actually expecting to see Dennis Oliech being paired with Michael Olunga up front so that at least we can get those goals. Of course, that is Dennis Oliech, and we now hopeful that Kenya can at least produce more goals in the coming African Cup of Nations, and maybe we get to win this tournament. From Dennis Oliech, from Gor Mahia, we come to the end of the broadcast. Thank you so much for staying with us. Of course, you can follow us on our social media at CoELIB TV, both on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. And you be sure to get all the shows that will be coming to you. That has been it for today, and from me, whatever you're doing this January, just be amazing.